Hey folks, thanks for making time. We wanted to make sure that we obviously addressed the federal shutdown. This is significant for our community. As Erik will lay out, some of the fiscal impacts to the city may not be immediate, but we certainly recognize as Military City USA the number of military members, their families that are dealing with this uncertainty, as well as the number of civil servants in our community that are impacted by this, either because they have been furloughed or because they are showing up to work and are not knowing when they may get paid. Right. So, frankly, on a personal level, having been a civil servant, I know this can be a very disconcerting time as you try to make economic decisions. I think it's also really important that we never discount, what these things also do for what is important, the most important thing in any organization, which is talent. Right, being able to recruit and keep good talent in something obviously as important as public service. So we are continuing to monitor, and obviously the severity of the impacts in our community will be directly related to how long this federal shutdown lasts. Hopefully this is something that our federal leaders and delegations can quickly come to resolution on, given the American people, and certainly San Antonio is relying on them to make sure that people are safe, people are healthy, and people are well served. So with that, I'm going to ask Erik to touch on a couple of points. We've gotten some of the very similar questions as they relate to some federal programs in our community, and to give you a sense of how we are monitoring any impacts to those things. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. Thanks for joining us. So I think it's important to make a couple of major points here. One, today is the beginning of our fiscal year, October 1st. And in our fiscal year 26 budget, we're anticipating a little over $150 million in federal funding in a variety of different programs, whether it's Head Start or airport grants, DOJ grants for police officers. All of our federal grants are reimbursements, and it's just the way the federal government does it, right? So they look to local and state governments to spend the money and get reimbursed. So the short-term impact is nothing to us. And we will anticipate that in the short term, as Washington, D.C. continues to deal with this issue, operations and programs will continue. The longer it goes on, and Mayor and I were just talking upstairs, it depends. As a large organization, we can continue to fund those programs, but if we go past 2-3 months, we'll start to see some impacts. The last shutdown lasted a little over 30 days, and we would hope that they resolve it sooner. But in the immediate impact, there's no impact to any infrastructure programs, there's no impact to infrastructure and Head Start programs, any of our federal funding at mental health. All of those are on a reimbursement basis, and all those operations are continuing. I will add that one area where we have been working to coordinate in advance of today is at the airport. And Jesus is in the back of the room. Jesus and the airport team have been in constant communication with TSA, Customs and Border Patrol, and FAA to ensure operations continue out at the airport, and they are continuing to operate. And again, that's due to the close coordination. We'll continue to do that out at the airport. So just to sum it up, there are no short-term impacts to us, and all of those operations and programs are going to continue. Lastly, I think I'll add that our government relations department is closely tied into what's happening up in Washington, D.C. I know the mayor will likely be talking to other mayors about this issue, and we're monitoring that and making sure that we have an opportunity to explain or share what potential impacts could be down the road. That we'll do that, and we'll keep all of you and the public updated.
So when you talk about the federal grants, about how much are you talking, and how, you said 2 to 3 months potentially before it has an impact on the city?
Yeah, it's a little over, our fiscal year 26 budget assumes about a little over $150 million in federal grants in a variety of sources. I'm not anticipating any issues right now in the short term. And the short term to me, this question the mayor just asked me upstairs, short term to me is over the next 2 to 3 months.
After that 2 to 3 months, though, what might people expect to see if it drags on longer than that?
You know, Megan, I think we're just going to have to monitor it. I can't guess what may or may not happen over the next 3 months in Washington, D.C. We'll continue to monitor that, and then keep the mayor and the council updated on any potential impacts as they develop. I suspect it'll be something that we'll report on regularly to the mayor and the council.
Besides Head Start, is there besides Head Start, are there other programs that the city is administering using federal funds that could be affected by this?
Sure, yeah, there's, go to the budget document online, there's a list of all the federal funding, all the programs, and it literally runs the gambit from Metro Health to Head Start to child care, runways out at the airport, police officers at the police department, training dollars from the Department of Homeland Security for the fire department. There's a litany of programs that we receive.
But I meant more along the lines that are going direct to people in the community. Like
Well, services from Metro Health and Human Services, and those programs are continuing here.
How many federal workers are here in San Antonio?
Federal workers, I do not know.
Tens of thousands. Tens of thousands, and that's important because, you know, as I'm having been a federal civil servant, this is personal because you know those folks that are deemed essential, right? So they're showing up, not knowing when they're going to get paid, but there are many more that are furloughed, and then also not knowing when they are going to be able to show up to work. I think it's also very important. Many of our federal workers are themselves veterans. Right? So again, we are, as we look at some of the DOJ cuts already that have happened in our community that are impacting the services to our veterans, this is another impact to our civil servants, which disproportionately, I think, affects our veterans. So we're looking at all of that and making sure that we are best supporting the federal workforce in and out of uniform here in our community. Thank you so much. We've got B session next. Thank you.
Oh, Erik,
Keep you guys. Yep.
we've already heard from CPS Energy, USAA, the Food Bank, major San Antonio people who are saying, "We got you, San Antonio." Say something about nature of San Antonio.
Programs are all continuing. Nothing's changing.
Yeah.
The programs are all.
We got you, San Antonio,
The
right?
programs are all continuing. There is no impact on services that we're doing with the public, whether it's a capital project out at the airport or Head Start. Everybody's got to go to school tomorrow, right? We're going to continue to do that. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Erik.